Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor to welcome you to the commencement ceremony for the South Island School class of 2023. I would first like to welcome the families here tonight. Our students have made it where they are today because of the countless hours of support that you have put in behind the scenes, preparing their lunches, helping them get dressed in the morning, doing their laundry. Hopefully by now some of our graduates have learned how to do some of that by themselves. Yes, today is a celebration of their dedication, of their hard work, but in a very real way, it's a celebration of your accomplishments as well. I would also like to welcome our honored guests, representatives from ESF, the South Island School Council, Ed Rolston, our commencement speaker, and his guests. We are very thankful that you could join us tonight. Welcome as well to the teachers, whose guidance and expertise have brought our students to this point. South Island School is very much a community, and we are grateful that you have come to celebrate with them as they cross this finish line. Finally, a large thank you to the support staff and prefects whose dedication helped bring this event together. In particular, Roselle San Diego, our years 12 and 13 administrator, whose hard work, creativity, and experience made this event possible. In today's ceremony, graduates will receive their certificates one by one in order of tutor group, starting with Baha'i and working alphabetically to Sheki. In between each house, there will be a variety of speeches and performances. At the end of the ceremony, guests will be invited to leave, while our graduates will be asked to stay behind in the hall for our final group photo, after which they will join the rest of us in the space on the 5th floor for the reception. With those instructions out of the way, we can now begin our ceremony. Could I please ask that you stand and applaud to welcome the South Island School class of 2023. Thank you very much. I would now like to invite the principal of South Island School, Ms. Carolyn Andrews, to give a short speech.
Thank you very much. Now, I can't really see you. I remember the last time we were in this venue, I could see everyone, so I'm just going to feel the vibes. There you go, that's a little bit better. Thank you. Can I see the graduates? Is that possible? Okay, I see you. There you are. Welcome. Welcome, parents. Welcome, friends, teachers, and most importantly, our graduates. What a special evening it is. Now, I think I've known most of you since year one. That's pretty special. I think I know most of you even through interview. There's a few of you I've known since you were born. Inside joke for those that have gone to Bray Bay School. Honestly, it's my absolute pleasure to be able to stand before you today. Now I want to, did the screen change? Okay. Janice, you're going to do this for me, okay? Yep, you're on, okay? I want to cast your mind back. Many of the parents who are in this room right now, do you remember the first day you dropped your year 7 child off at South Island School? Do you remember? Yes, of course you do. Now I'm going to ask the graduates, do you remember your first day? And that's not just year 7, that's your very first day at South Island School. Do you remember? Yes, you do. And I remember saying to you, it won't be long, and you'll be sat here, and you'll be graduating. So at one end, you're coming in, and we're welcoming you, and it's been a fantastic journey. And now at the other end, as promised, and you're graduating today. Let that sit for a moment. I want you to think about what you felt when you were in year 7 or when you first started at South Island School. And then I want you to think about how you feel right now as you embark on that very next journey. Pretty special. Now, this is Family Bihinia. Do you know what Family Bihinia is? I'm looking at you guys, do you know what it is? Now, it's no accident that we called it Family Bihinia. Now, the Bihinia tree, it's quite a special tree. We know it. Everybody knows this, right? Welcome to class all over again. Now, the tree, if you look at the tree itself, and I'm going to look at the biologists, I see you over there, the Bihinia seed looks almost identical, correct? Am I right? All right, the biology teachers are watching me. They look almost the same. But when it grows into a beautiful tree, they're all quite different. So what makes the difference? Much like the tree, South Island School has developed and has grown, and it's all about the legacy. And graduates, you have formed a big part of that. Parents, you've formed a very large part of that. Teachers, we are here, and we are the way we are because of you. It's a pretty special place to be. Now I want to, well, I know what's on the screen now. Now I want to really take a pause for a moment. And I want you to have a look at those faces who joined us, the current year 13s who have joined us in an ESF primary school. Wow, parents, where are you? Put your hand up, well done, well done. I'm making sure I have this right. Who do they have up there now? Bradbury. All right, so now we have the group, we have our feeder schools. Now remember, we're talking about legacy here. These are our feeder schools. So we have Bradbury School. Who are they? Oh yes, we see them, there they are. I remember this well. Or Corey Bay. Parents, I'm letting you have the opportunity to take a photo. And now we don't just have the 2 feeder schools. Wait for it. So we have a few students with us. So we have a few kids from other ESF schools, from Pete, Zoe. Last one standing, good girl, well done. Christy from Beacon Hill, well done. Alex from Glen Ely, so long ago. And Ivana from Callum Junior School. Now talk about legacy, let's hold on to that word. These children have forged their way. We have big feeder schools, they've come in, and we also have students sitting in the audience who joined us partway through. And we haven't forgot about you. But I want to show you one more thing. I know, I felt the same way when I saw it. So here you go. These are the students that are with us in year 13, who have been with us now since kindergarten. I know. But on that note, as I said, it's not just about the students who have stayed with us the longest. It's the impact you make when you arrive. And I think it's been exceptional. And I just want to thank each and every one of you who are in this hall right now for everything you've done to make South Island as great as it is. Can you give yourself a big clap? Told me to keep it short. I'm keeping it short, I'm almost there. So now I just want to turn my attention to the year 13s and what an incredible journey you've been on. So why the Behinia tree? It's special for many reasons. So you look at its exceptional adaptivity and what it can do. It can withstand rocky terrain, different weathers. Am I right? Am I okay here? It's good, right? So you think about our graduates right now, the incredible adaptability they must have endured and developed their skills. So not only, now let's think back to what they've had to go through. The worst typhoon. Yes? You remember? School closed. Don't say anything. We had political unrest, where it was really tense for our children and for our families. It was tough, and we thought, thank goodness that's behind us. Should I say the C word? I'm not going to say it. But you've had to endure an awful lot. You've had to do a lot of your learning in isolation behind a computer screen. We know that. We also know that just having you, when we saw you in year 7, your connection together, you are such social beings, and you like to be with each other, and it was really hard not to be able to give you that. But adaptability, that's what you have. It's incredible. Now this, parents, come on, I'm going to ask you this. The tenacity and determination. Do I have to say that about your child? Is there anyone who would argue that? We know our children are very determined, and we know that they really had to work hard to get where they are now, and they're worried about their IB results and those things. But tonight is not about that. Tonight is a celebration for you and everything that you've had to overcome. And of course, last but not least, the grace and beauty of the Behinia tree and what you exude when you walk through the corridors. You are incredible people, and we could not be more proud for you. So, do you remember this photo? I'm just checking to make sure it's the right one, that's all. You are an incredible group, and we are, as I've said, very, very proud of you. But I do ask you, as you embark on the next stage of your journey, we want you to remember your little school on Nampong Road. We want you to really remember all the lovely things that have happened here and everything that you've become, because you are a huge part of South Island School. You've shaped it into what it is today. Can you see the picture? Oh, that's the school. Thank you. Should I repeat it? The little school on Nampong Road. Now, we talk about legacy. Now, you will be the first graduating class to receive the alumni keychain. Is that up there? I know. They love a good gift. I know they do. But the keychain symbolizes more than just a keychain, and this is what we hope for you. So you can take a look at the little strands that are on the keychain. You need to be reminded the impact that you had on our school, how you've made a huge difference, a positive difference in our school. And this is really important. You will always be part of our family. Don't forget that. So, wherever you may travel, we hope when you see this familiar keychain, you're reminded of family and us back on Yangfeng Road. Congratulations, class of 2023. I feel like I shouldn't respond after that, and all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
We now come to the part of the ceremony where our graduates will receive their certificates. Could I please ask the head of Baha'i, Mr. Cherto, to come to stage and ask B1 and B2 to begin to line up on the side.
Okay, massive congratulations to Isadora Boone. Darlene Grant. Sean Chan. Alvin Lamb. Hazel Lee. Chloe Lee. Andrea Learn. Charlie Littlewood. Tony Mack. Lily Manuel. Nicole Moon. Summer Facey. Dorothea. Savannah Wall. And Zhenyu Yang. And can I welcome Mr. Kenneth Chan for B2? Okay, first up for B2 is Candice Chan. church. Vivian Chung.
Thank you, Mr. Cho. We are honored this evening to have Mr. Edmund Rolston as our commencement speaker. A South Island School alumni of the class of 2008, Mr. Rolston has had an exciting and varied career, including time as a professional rugby player, an actor, writer, director of several international productions, and leadership in the food and beverage industry, including most recently as co-founder and CMO of Dough Bros. Could I ask you to please welcome to the stage Mr. Ed Rolston.
Just delighted you to put my yearbook photo up from 2008. They say you peak at high school. I think not. Thanks so much for having me, everybody. Good evening. Teachers, parents, students, a lot of you, thanks for having me. Must have been scraping the bottom of the barrel for an alumni, but happy to be here anyway. So, the PTSD is just about subsided enough for me to walk back through the doors. I'm joking, obviously. I had incredibly fond memories of my time at South Island School. I made some lifelong friendships. You can see by the way you guys interact with one another, those friendships will last a very long time. And I'll never forget some of the teachers that genuinely cared about me, or at least enough to give me that kick up the backside I needed at times. So it sounds cliche to say, but time really does fly. I was looking up there and I was thinking, 2008. Well, yeah, you guys know how old I am, but it does make me feel a little bit better knowing that some of the teachers are still here that taught me. So, how old does that make them? Mr. Sleppo. Sorry. Well, one thing I have noticed is the production value's definitely been up since my day. You've got gowns and hats and key rings and all the rest of it. We were sort of kicked on stage and the photograph taken. Sorry, Mr. Sleppo. So I'm very conscious that I don't want this speech to sound like a preachy self-help video. Rather, I hope I can kind of deliver a few principles that help me navigate that pretty turbulent path from moving from school and learning about what the hell you're going to do for the rest of your life. But turbulent paths are something that, unfortunately, is something that I believe you guys are fairly used to. You had a very tough 3 years, something I never had to deal with in my final years of school. So I tip my hat to you guys and how you dealt with the last few years, and I see how you guys are, and you know, there's absolutely nothing holding you back in any way, shape or form. So before we kind of kick things off, I'd give you a little bit of context on who I am and where I've come from. So I was born in Hong Kong, much like I'd imagine a lot of you here. I moved to Ireland at the age of 7 before returning to Hong Kong and South Island as a year later at South Island School. My dad read the news on television for ATV, one of the 2 news channels growing up over here. You guys are a little bit more spoiled than I was back in the day. My mum ran her own businesses, and they both raised 4 headstrong, naughty children. But they taught us to follow our passions and be open-minded. Sport for us was a bit of a leveler. At times things were quite difficult, but we all loved sport. I talk about my siblings and I. It didn't matter where you came from, who you were, what membership clubs you were a member of, social standings or whatever. When you were out there playing sport, everyone was the same. If you had 2 legs, 2 arms, you tackled, basically. So it was a bit of an escape for us. It sounds like I had a dreadful upbringing. I didn't have a very loving one. But it allowed you to forget about things like coursework, things that needed to be in on time, and all the rest of it. And for the 80 minutes that you were there, you could focus solely on sport. Yeah, no exams or any of that. I equally owe a lot to the performing arts. I love drama. I don't know whether it was watching my dad on TV at 6 p.m. reading the news, but I always wanted to be an actor. So shout out drama. Yo, shout out Miss Cannon. And shout out anyone that's ever been on stage and performed. It's not an easy thing to do, so hats off to you. Drama in particular taught me to be strong enough to fail. It taught me to be vulnerable. It taught me to try things without fear of them not working out. It taught me to take feedback, learn, dust yourself off and run it back, go again. It also taught me compassion and patience. Two of the strongest characteristics in some of the brilliant people I've been fortunate enough to meet over the years. When you step outside your comfort zone, you are vulnerable. You expose yourself. And I believe growth happens when you push those comfort barriers. With drama, it requires you to do that over and over again. With performing, you have to be understanding when other people are vulnerable and when other people are in that space. For example, if you laugh at somebody in a drama rehearsal, it would take an incredible amount of time for that person to feel comfortable enough to revisit that space. So that's something that goes far and beyond drama rehearsals for me. Understanding when people are stepping out of their comfort zone and when they're vulnerable. I played rugby for Hong Kong men's in the Sevens, Hong Kong Sevens. Shout out Hong Kong Sevens. And the 15s before I went to university. And then for university, I blended my two passions, rugby, performing arts. I went to Loughborough University. And I studied drama at Loughborough, and I continued playing rugby. So it helped me that, I don't know if Mr. Wright teaches any of you, but it helped that he went to Loughborough before me and had played rugby for Hong Kong, so I had a little bit of credit thanks to him, but I'll never tell him that and make sure he doesn't know that from me. So during my final year of university, I signed a full-time professional rugby contract at Leicester Tigers. And at the time, my dream came true. I got to play alongside some of my childhood heroes, some of the people, I remember Six Nations games, waking up at 3 in the morning and seeing some of those players play, and it became a reality. So I got to play with some of the best players in the world, and some of my childhood heroes. But it was a tough year for me, I have to say. I was juggling my final year of university whilst also trying to enter into a career in professional rugby. The club itself was an incredibly harsh environment. There was a lot of bullying, a lot of fighting for positions. Fighting was celebrated on the training ground, and being hard was very much encouraged. It was probably what contributed to the success of that club, but my first glimpse into professional rugby wasn't a particularly happy one, to be honest. Anyways, my contract came to an end, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I'm sure some of you over there know exactly what you want to do. I commend you, and I'm sure a lot of you are sitting in the same position as me, knowing, what am I going to do? It's all good. I pushed so hard to be a professional rugby player, and then when I got there, quite frankly, it wasn't what it had been built up to be in my head. So after a brief stint of playing a little bit more rugby in LA for Santa Monica Dolphins, I returned to the UK to begin a life after rugby. For me, it was always, at that point, professional rugby or nothing, and I didn't want to do professional rugby anymore. So I think the important message that I'm sort of rambling my way through here is, don't let your degree or what you're currently doing as your career define you as who you are. I found the transition from professional rugby into the working world a very difficult one. I'd allowed rugby to kind of define me for many years, and it was almost like I'd lost a bit of an identity. So something I've learned is to not be so pegged to what you're doing as a job or what degree is. You are you, number one. And I almost had to rediscover at that point who I was. So I have a very different belief now in kind of the identity and what you can be linked to, and I now believe you can be sort of the sum total of your habits or what you do on a regular basis. So if you exercise a lot and eat well, you're an athletic, healthy person. If you go to the pub 3 nights a week and say you're a healthy person, your habits say otherwise. You get my gist. So I was never the most naturally gifted athlete or rugby player or business person or whatever. But I did develop some pretty consistent habits that helped me along the way. Anything decent I ever achieved never fell into my lap, and that was something that's been consistent throughout my whole life. It's been the aggregation of marginal gain, the relentless pursuit of consistent habits and small gains. Set your trajectory, chip away at the rock, and eventually it will break. And I truly believe you can achieve whatever you want with this mentality. It's genuinely not rocket science. You do something enough times consistently and you will get results. I promise you that. So some of you will be in this situation with Hong Kong. You're very fortunate to be invited to play national age grade sport growing up. And I was invited to go and trial for the Hong Kong under-18s team. I was cut from the Hong Kong under-18s and it rocked my world. I was devastated at the time. I was absolutely gutted. I was watching all my mates head off to Japan and play all this fun rugby and get photos in their cool new stash and whatever. And it was kind of a reminder that I'd sort of failed. But at that point, I made a decision that next year I was going to get picked for the Hong Kong under-20s team. So from that day, I decided, look, I'm not going to miss any training sessions. I'm going to do my own training. I'm going to go down a couple of nights a week and I'm going to kick at night. Again, not brain surgery, just consistency. And the very next year, I got picked to play Hong Kong under-20s. I was also picked to be captain. And in the very same year, I was picked to play in the Hong Kong Sevens for the men's team. So from being dropped from the under-18s to being picked to play in the Sevens and the 15s for the senior side the very next year was a pretty sweet turnaround in my head. But there was no other reason than the sum total of marginal gain and consistency in my approach. I wasn't any more gifted than anybody else was. I was just happy to put in the graft and consistently chip away at that rock. So with that in mind, people talk about luck. I'm sure people have their own opinions on luck. People say I was quite lucky to play professional rugby. I personally don't really believe in luck. I believe you make your own luck. I think luck is forged in consistency of your habits. The famous expression goes, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I believe that. I really, really do. I suppose one thing I was lucky or unlucky about was, and I didn't have any choice in the matter, was who I grew up with and who raised me. Sometimes you wish you had a choice in it. But anyways, I had a very loving upbringing. I had parents that gave us the kind of the tools that we needed to succeed in what we wished to succeed in. I've also been very lucky to see greatness get achieved from some pretty obscure places. I grew up in a tiny town for about a few years of my life called Ballymoney. No, I didn't think so. In Northern Ireland. And to put it into perspective, I think it has about 14,000 people in Ballymoney, which in Hong Kong terms is a little bit more than half of Happy Valley. But it was a little bit bigger than Happy Valley. But in that hometown, we had Joey Dunlop. And he was the world's greatest motorbike road racer of all time. He won 26 Isle of Man GTs, and he came from our wee hometown. So that was pretty cool. I also had some friends in London that ended up becoming pretty successful musicians and actors. And the one thing that I realized was they were all the same. They were people at the end of the day. They had 2 arms, 2 legs. They all got nervous, before speeches like this. But the one thing that they did have was an ambition, self-belief, and they were prepared to work incredibly hard for it. Harder than other people, but again, it wasn't rocket science. They were like you or I, but they chipped away at that rock. And that was something that I wish I was told when I was aspiring to be a professional rugby player or an actor or in business I wish I was told they were not that good. I wish I was told that, yeah, like I was saying before, they all get nervous before games. They were born the same as you, like 2 arms, 2 legs, and there's absolutely no reason why you can't go and be the best in the world at something. And I fundamentally believe that. I'm looking over here because I'm looking at the graduating class. There's absolutely no reason why you can't be the best in the world at something. And this is something that I try to take into sort of our business endeavors now. There are many ways to do things, and potentially better ways to do things than people have been doing them. And there's absolutely no reason why my ideas can't stand up as a leader against some of these other leaders in far greater and bigger businesses than ours. So belief can take you a long way. Back yourself. Yeah, genuinely back yourself a lot. Because if you listen to everything everybody else said, things weren't possible and you would never do anything. And I certainly wouldn't be running a pizza and donut shop right now. So for those of you who are familiar with the brand, I am one of the co-founders of Dobro's Pizza and Donuts. And it's been a bit of a long and winding road, actually, to get here, and one that I wouldn't change for the world. I get to work with phenomenally creative people on a daily basis, and I genuinely pinch myself that I go to work and this is my job, and you know, the idea that we can go into work and we just have to make this better and better every day. One of our big mentalities is hope and happiness, so it's a big pillar of ours. We try and give back wherever we can. I wasn't going to talk about this, but did anybody get sent to Penny's Bay from here? Bloody hell, no. Someone got sent to Penny's Bay. All right, never mind. we don't need to talk about that anymore. Anyways, going back to what I was talking about luck earlier, a lot of people may look at Dobros as being a bit of an overnight success, but what they don't see, or what is impossible to see, is the years of graft learning, running businesses before through the protests. Our first restaurant we ran through the protests, all of the event work that came before what we were doing, the 3 a.m. starts, getting ready to sell bacon sandwiches at mini rugby events, popcorn and candy floss at festivals and fairground, all the learnings, all the failings, all the hard work, and dusting yourself off and going again, finally 9 years later brought us to the first Dobros Pizza and Donuts, of which I will let you all know that me and my business partner Matt Lamming painted ourselves. We made every pizza ourselves. We took every single phone order ourselves. It didn't happen by accident, but again, it wasn't glamorous and it wasn't brain surgery. It was just chipping away at that rock. The sum total of marginal gain, relentless consistency over and over again. I love this quote. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is today. It's never too late to start positive habits. I like to put myself in the shoes of the type of person that I'm aspiring to be. For example, I'm sure some of you are aspiring to be doctors. Doctors are organized, most of them organized, diligent. You know, so if you were sort of looking to become a doctor, being organized and diligent is probably a trait you're looking to have. Yet when you wake up in the morning, you can't make your bed or get your coursework in on time. So habits can start kind of very early, and to give you a bit of an example of how I've used this sort of habits thing is I often question what the traits of a successful entrepreneur might be. Richard Branson is a great example. I noticed this trait about listening, something Mr. Slethog and Miss Cannon will tell you I was never particularly good at. But Richard Branson understands that everyone has a voice, and listening to people is very important. So I'll tell you a story about, he was on his way in a business class or first class car, taking him to the airport to take one of his Virgin Atlantic flights. And he asked the driver, do you have any opinions on how we can make this company better? The driver turned to him and said, we've got all these VIPs that are in this car, yet when we drop them off at the airport, they still have to check in like everybody else. Can we not somehow work out a way that we can check them in while I'm driving them to the airport? Oh, what a great idea, and it's what set Virgin Atlantic aside from its competitors. But it was kind of Richard Branson understanding that anybody in that company had a voice and had something to offer, and removing his ego and allowing that driver to have an incredible idea that filtered up. So this is a trait that I consciously try and work on, my listening, try and understand that other people, you know, definitely have more experience in other areas than I do, and listening to them. Don't worry, I'm not going to ramble on too much more. Life's full of ups and downs. I just speaking to the class of 2023 when I say this, genuinely do not worry if you don't know what you want to do after university or after school. I never thought for one moment I'd be standing here talking at a graduation class at South Island School talking about a pizza company that we've set up. But stay open-minded and say yes to things. Be receptive to positivity. I believe you give what you get. Relish change, which you absolutely have over the last few years. Be adaptable. You guys have that in spades. Be flexible. Be dynamic. Be different. Back yourself and start making your own luck. Life's fragile and precious. Don't sweat the little things. Nobody actually cares about how many IG likes you got on a photo. But people do care about how you make them feel. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Look out for people. Smile more. Say I love you lots. If someone's having a tough time, get around them. They'll remember it. It's a beautiful world we live in, and sometimes we can lose track of that. And it is possible to work on what you're truly passionate about. You might not know what your passion is. Some of the greatest minds or people, you know, that I've been lucky enough to meet over the years still don't know what they want to do, and they're 60 plus, 70 plus. Anyways, I really am rambling here. So I hope you managed to get something out of this, and it wasn't just the kind of ramblings of a pizza boy. And if you didn't get anything out of it, at least I've got a free voucher for a donut for So, Miss Andrews spoke a bit about legacy. You've all obviously left your mark on Southislandschool and your legacy in Hong Kong. I'm very excited to see the legacy that you leave after school and what you can bring to the table for this beautiful earth that we live on. So I'm going to be around, and feel free to reach out at any time in the future if you want to have a chat about anything or a job. Hiring. So I'll be around afterwards if you want to have a yarn. You can get my details, I'm sure some of the teachers can give them out if you ever want to drop me a line. Congratulations again, everybody from the class of 2023. The world is yours. Let's make it better. And actually, for what it's worth, do we still do the Koh Samui grad trips? Don't rent a bloody motorbike. All right, so legends, guys, hit it at pace. Let's go. And before I ruin the next person's speech by taking notes.
Thank you very much for the speech. Next, may we welcome CASA C1, and can we have Mr. Chris Roberts to present the certificate, and of course, Ms. Andrews. First, Adrian Chan. Welcome Mr. George Pang, tutor of C2 on stage. Welcome graduates from C2, Zoe Carrot. much. Congratulations, CASA graduates. Now we will have a performance by Anthony Ho and Thomas Hafner, who will be performing 2 songs. They will perform a variation of 7 Years by Lucas Graham and Thomas' own composition, Waterfall. Enjoy.
So hi, I'm Anthony, and this is my best friend Thomas. So we'll today just be performing, first of all, a parody of 7 Years. We both are a little sick today, and we both have sore throats, but we'll try our best, and hope you guys enjoy. I was 7 years old, my mama told me, go make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old. It was a big, big world, but we thought we were bigger, pushing each other to the limits, we were learning quicker. By 11 we all wanted to grow older quicker, and all our lives we couldn't wait until our senior year. Once I was 11 years old, my daddy told me, don't live your life too fast or you'll regret it. Once I was 11 years old. I always had that dream since my freshman year, to walk across the stage and hear all of the claps and cheers. This isn't how I saw it, it's like a bad dream I'm lost in. Everything changed so fast and now it just seems so surreal. Now that we're seniors, we're grown now. Wanna thank everyone who changed my life and made myself a better time. Now that we're seniors, we are grown. I know the future's scary and it's hard to be ready, 'cause all the possibilities, I know that there's so many. But no matter how it goes, I hope that everybody knows you will find your place to light from your bright future goals. Soon we'll be getting our degrees and we'll be having our house keys and we'll be telling our school stories to our families. Soon we'll be getting our degrees. And it's a big, big world, we may not all stick together, but I know that every one of you I will remember, and I won't forget how you changed my life for the better. So I won't tell you goodbye, I'll just say see you later. Now that we're seniors, look around, we made our parents proud. We worked so hard and now we get our cap and gown. We'll go to college and forget about all of this now. I hope someday we all come back and meet again somehow. Now that we're seniors, look around, we celebrate with a smile. We worked so hard and made so many people proud. Now that we're seniors, look around. Now that we're seniors, look around. We can celebrate with a smile. We worked so hard and made so many people proud. Now that we're seniors, look around. Once I was 7 years old, my mama told me, go Make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old. Once I was 7 years old.
This is my own composition, Waterfall, written especially for the graduating year. I hope you all enjoy it. One step, two steps, 3 steps out the door and we're all set. Take a last look back at what's left. Is it just me staring back? And we made a lot of memories. Remember when we went to Big Wave Babies? Remember how we got both here and I'm talking now. It's time to celebrate. Forget about how we're gonna separate. We've made it this far and we're doing great. But when I think to the future, I'm still a little afraid. It feels like I'm on a waterfall, crashing to the cliffside. I just think that I might not want to say goodbye. Like rivers in motion, will we reach the ocean? Take a look around, wearing our caps and gowns. Feel proud, don't frown, in the face of a future that's so close now. And we made a lot of memories. Valley night karaoke at Halloween. I spent all night riding my EE. The Gold Dragon dinner at Happy Valley. And it's time to celebrate. Forget about how we're gonna separate. We've made it this far and we're doing great. But when I think to the future, I'm still a little afraid. Feels like I'm on a waterfall, crashing to the cliffside. I just think that I might not want to say goodbye. Like rivers in motion, will we reach the ocean? It feels like I'm on a waterfall, crashing to the cliffside. I just think that I might not want to say goodbye. Like rivers in motion, will we reach the ocean? It feels like I'm on a waterfall, up shit creek without a paddle. How am I gonna handle falling off this waterfall? Like rivers in motion, like rivers in motion, like rivers in motion. I know we'll all reach the ocean.
And now to Kucha. And for 13K1, I'd like to invite Miss Percival up to the stage, please. 13K1, congratulations to Max Emmanuel. Jamie Harvey. can't be here tonight as she is unwell, but Mr. Lamb will be stepping in for her for 13K2. And first we have Chloe Byron. Davina Ho. Kristen Ho.
say a few words about our valedictorian, Sean Little. At events like this, it's not uncommon for a lot of hyperbole to be thrown about. He's the best at this, she's the most fantastic at that, but in this case it really is deserved. There are really not enough superlatives to describe how fantastic Sean is, both as a student of SIS and as a person in general. Sean joined SIS at the same time as myself in 2016 as a small and bright-eyed year 7, and in all of that time, in all of the 2,473 days I've known her, I don't think I've ever seen Sean in a bad mood. It's not normal, it's not normal. I spent 7 years coming into school wondering if one day I will catch Sean in an act of malice. Perhaps she'll be saying an unkind word about a fellow student. Even a frown, but in all the time I've known her, that has never happened. Sean, as well as being a genuinely kind-hearted and warm person, is someone who has the absolute inability to say no. As such, she's found herself signed up to the Bar High leadership team, the student council. I could go on, and all of this while studying her GCSEs and her IB. The final thing that I will remember Sean forever for, and perhaps the thing she's most famous for in our tutor group, is her absolute refusal to age. It's almost chilling that as the years roll by and the rest of us continue our eternal battle with gravity, becoming ever more worn and tired, Sean remains as youthful and as fresh-faced as ever. I noticed a lot of the pictures up there, you guys getting older, year 1 to year 13, not Sean. If you were looking carefully, she looks exactly the same. If you don't believe me, guys, I challenge you to put in chronological order these photos of Sean at South Island. Please welcome to the stage, Sean.
Journey from being known simply as Year 13 to becoming the graduating class of 2023. Now, if there's anything we've learned from the past 7 years, it's the trust that we can somehow pull off a lengthy essay the night before it's due. So of course, I've put this skill to use once again to write this 5 or so minute speech. I must also confess that I used ChatGPT to help write this speech. But jokes aside, I want to begin by expressing my gratitude to our teachers, tutors, parents, and every staff member for guiding, comforting, and supporting us throughout our very long journey at South Island School, whether that be for the last 7 years or just the last 2. We may not have always expressed our gratitude, but we truly wouldn't be here without you. To our wonderful teachers, thank you for your patience and for giving us invaluable knowledge. We really appreciate the countless deadline extensions, and thank you for putting up with our nonsense, absences, and excuses. We couldn't have done it without you all. To the tutors, our mentors, thank you for being the much-needed friendly faces in the mornings, for always giving us advice and support, and for making sure we don't fail the IB because of CAS. And of course, I need to give a special mention to my tutor, Mr. Sterling Reed. Thank you so much for being the best tutor that we could have ever asked for. Seriously, throughout my 7 years at this school, I'm constantly being told by other students how lucky I am to be in B1 with you, Mr. Sterling Reed. Thank you. Finally, to all the parents and to my mom and dad, thank you so much for your endless patience, encouragement, and love. It must not have been easy asking your child how their day at school was and getting a blunt okay. We know it wasn't easy dealing with our mood swings and busy schedules, and we appreciate you taking care of us and providing us with dinner at our desks when we were too busy to come out of our rooms. We hope you feel so proud of who we have become. There is so much nostalgia when we look back at the memories we've made and the times we've spent at South Island. From Year 7 inter-house events that people were dying to participate in and cried over when faced with defeat, to the more recent ones where we have to plead people to go to. And there is, of course, the South Island experience of desperately running for the 76 or the 41A, or the wondering if you'll even get on the bus because it's just so full. And of course, there were many late nights and deadlines that we really pulled through for, even if it was at 11:59 p.m. or much later than that. But all these moments, the good and the bad, all these memories we have shared together have ultimately played a part in shaping us into who we are today. A strong, determined, resilient group of young adults. This determination is what ultimately allowed us to persevere through our last 2 years of high school, the IB. Now, we've all been through the countless IAs, TOK essays, CAS, EEs, and of course exams which only finished 5 days ago. Not to mention the added challenge of COVID that has led to years of online Zoom classes and distance learning. We have been through quite the endeavor, but we made it nonetheless, and we made it through together. I'd say that the tough times actually just made the good times even better. For example, dancing at Diwali night is one of the core memories that I will always cherish. It was the school's first in-person event since the pandemic, and many of us came together as a year group to celebrate. We should remember our time here at South with positivity and joy. So no matter what that score is on the 6th of July, make sure it doesn't define you. At the end of the day, the grade gets us to one place, and everything else in life will be determined by the unique individuals that we have all become. Regardless if we did CP or DP, and no matter what grades we will get, all of us have the right to feel so proud of the position that we are in now. All of us have overcome our own personal challenges, whether it be known to others or not, and we have forged our own paths for the journey which lies ahead. I have such love and admiration for all of you. Some of our paths may align, while others may be miles apart. But whichever paths we find ourselves on next, I know that we all wish each other luck, happiness, and success with the deepest sincerity. Even though we might not keep in touch with everyone or see each other again, the memories we created at South will stay with us forever. So let's celebrate us and all that we've accomplished. To wrap things up, have a restful and fun summer. Not only do we deserve it, but we desperately need it to cure our IB burnout. And just know that we have made a difference, and we will continue to do so. Thank you so much, and congratulations to us.
Students on the stage. So congratulations, Adrian. Justin Chen. Jin Choi. And Drishti Deram. Peter Henry. Ria Hai. Jian Lam. Tony Lee. Masayo Machi. Dylan Ng. Beth Phillips. And finally from M1, Izzy Therese. Rachel Ali to the stage. So congratulations, Jonathan Cheng. Ashley Khan. Michael Lam. Parish line. Not Michael Lam. And Wing Yang Ng. Ria Rao. censor some. Evelyn Wang. Performance by Creamy So and Elise Song, who in their own words will be performing a song by Eddie.
Loving can hurt. Loving can hurt sometimes, but it's the only thing that I know. When it gets hard, you know it can get hard sometimes. It is the only thing that makes us feel alive. We keep this love in a photograph. We make these memories for ourselves. Our eyes are never closing, hearts are never broken, time's forever frozen still. So you can keep me inside the pocket of your ripped jeans, holding me closer till our eyes meet. It won't ever be long. Wait for me to come home. Loving can heal. Loving can mend your soul. It is the only that's when we die. Keep this love in a photograph. We make these memories for ourselves. Our eyes are never closing, hearts are never broken, time's forever frozen still. So you can keep me inside the pocket of your ripped jeans, holding me closer till our eyes meet. You won't ever be alone. Ooh. And if you hurt me, that's okay, baby. Only words bleed inside these pages. You just hold me. I won't ever let you go. Wait for me to come home. 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 So you could fit me inside the necklace you got when you were 16. Next to your heartbeat where I should be. Keep it deep within your soul. And if you hurt me, that's okay, baby. Only words bleed inside these pages. You just hold me. I won't ever let you go. When I'm away, I will remember how you kissed me under the lamppost back on 6th Street, hearing you whisper through the phone. Wait for me to come home.
Thank you guys, that was amazing. I'd like to invite Miss Hannah Smiley to the stage, please. And Nana's house, up you come. And congratulations to 13N1, starting with Josh Brooke. And Laura Broom. And Jason Chan. And Brianna Jonathan. And Anthony Ho. And John Lyle. and Sandy. And Polly Shepherd. And Josh C. And Heidi Wong. And finally for N1, Ernest Young. Congratulations to anyone. I'd like to invite Mr. Flood up to the stage to present certificates to N2. Starting with Shivansh Anand. And Myron Chan. And Conrad Ick.
Jordan So. Sting. Congratulations, Mama Tice. I'd like to invite Nick Boston to the stage to introduce the IBCP valedictorian. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a special good evening to our graduating class. I've been invited to say a few words about a student, Elena Fritz, and her successes on the CP course. She has shown tremendous tenacity throughout the course, and she has been the embodiment of a CP student. She has never given up when things have got tough. She has striven for greatness throughout her time on the course, and she should be really proud of the outcomes that she will go on to achieve, not only on results day, but also in her life. But equally, I would like to take this moment to acknowledge the success of the entire CP cohort. They have all been absolutely brilliant. We've had a laugh along the way, and I am immensely proud of everything that they have achieved and will also go on to achieve in their life. So for now, I would like to invite our CP valedictorian to the stage to share her wise wisdom and celebrate with you all tonight. Thank you. Elena Fritz.
That works. So good evening, and thank you to everyone here tonight supporting my fellow graduates and I at the end of this wild journey that we call high school. To the families, tutors, heads of houses, members of staff, and not to mention my classmates, thank you for listening to our whining, miserably assembled excuses, but most of all, sharing both the pains and joys of us growing up. It has been one hell of an honor to share this journey with all of you, and that being said, can we give all of us a quick round of applause? I'd especially like to thank someone personally who, despite living thousands of kilometers away from me, or miles, so her American brain can understand, has been my rock and form of guidance through immensely difficult times. Alexis, you're the best big sister I've been lucky enough to have, And you may not be here with us tonight, but I love you very much. And if you'll allow me, I'd also love to embarrass you at your wedding next year with a personalized speech. When I was asked to give the valedictory, for a moment I wondered what that really meant. So like any well-trained IB student, I entered valedictorian definition into Google and read the first result. Give the farewell speech. But it seemed, at least to me, to be much more of an opportunity to bond and share with the class rather than say goodbye for good. I was one of the students that joined you all in year 10, and so there are many moments I wasn't able to share with you, like crawling up the stairs with a backpack the same size as our torsos, or going on year 7 camps to hike and play games. Due to that gap in time, I feel as if I haven't gotten to know a lot of you as much as I'd hoped to, and many of you don't really know much about me. So I thought that tonight I'd share a little bit about what I've learned while attending South Island School besides the academics. The first thing is to reflect. So as we look back from our position as graduates today, it's safe to say that our year group has been through a lot. From issues we aren't supposed to speak about in 2019 to a pandemic that swept across the globe, all while navigating our own lives and schooling. Though those challenges presented us with isolation and a melancholy only experienced in the late hours of night alone, I think it also taught a lot of us about reflecting upon the privileges we have as international school students, and just how lucky we were to have an online network to remain interwoven with one another. Those lonely months of quarantine really allowed for us to appreciate the classroom environment on our return. And I think it is safe to say that we have been able to love the people, the learning, and the things we discovered about ourselves through those times. Instead of viewing those challenges as time lost, I prefer to see it as a time of self-growth and reflection upon myself, and how much learning really meant to me. And for that, I am grateful. I hope that moving forward, we can all continue to reflect and embark on new challenges with a positive mindset. When it comes to the present, it's essential to appreciate the now, all while loving what's around you. When I moved to Hong Kong from Germany 4 years ago, I had a lot of catching up to do in regards to the change in culture, and it was a daunting task, especially while trying to find my place in a class of 200 students in comparison to my old class of 15. 15. I couldn't do it alone, and I didn't. The friends and people I met along the way showed me about enjoying the process of growth and transformation. And if there's one thing I picked up from the bustling city life of Hong Kong, it is to live in the moment. During GCSEs and IB, it was so easy to get caught up in the details of coursework, university deadlines, and all those other responsibilities we can forget about now. But being mindful of your position now will only allow you to reflect on the old you and reimagine the new you. Though the final destination may seem rewarding, the process is where all the learning takes place, and I think we're all pretty familiar with that now. It is also the place you learn to love yourself for who you are at that moment, which may be one of the most difficult things to do. And we were never alone in this process. I was lucky enough to have support from my head of house, Ms. Chan, and also my tutor, Mr. Roberts, and both of whom I'm very grateful towards. Last but not least, I want to talk about change. It's an inevitable part of living and can be both positive and negative, but it's unavoidable. I used to hate change, for it meant unpredictability, a lack of control, and a new fear of the unknown. But now I think change is a beautiful thing. The fact that we cannot circumvent change means it's supposed to be part of life. And as we all close this chapter of our lives and open a new one, take that transitional period as an opportunity of self-discovery. Change means finding new hobbies to be passionate about, which can range from a new hobby to fighting world issues. Change also means to make a difference, the very essence of South Island School. I urge you all tonight to think about what that difference you're going to make is, whether it is a change you will bring upon yourself or a wider community in the future. Leave your positive mark on this planet, because I really do want to remember all of you for the beautiful contributions you will make. And I hope we can cheer each other on for those changes we will bring about. So I've kept you all for long enough, and right. We must move on to more celebrations this evening. but as a final closing statement, I again wanted to thank everyone for their love and support in making tonight happen for the class of 2023. Again, we really wouldn't have gone through it alone. And on behalf of the graduating class, I wish you all a wonderful evening. And to the graduating class, you all mean so much to me, and I am so grateful to have gotten to know so many of you over the past 4 years. And thank you all so much, and I wish you all the best of luck in the future.
Good evening. Could I please invite the graduating Steppians of 2023 to stand at the side of the stage? And also Miss Wiseman to join us on the stage. Okay, kicking us off with 13S1 on our bot. Timo Choi. Sean Dyer. Aaron Ho. Suzanne Hugendorf. Phoebe Hine. Mark Hum. Charlene Lam. Angelica Law. Yoon-Ho Lee. Creamy Sir.
Marie van der Heuvel. And finally for 13S1, Bosco Young. Thank you, Ms. Whiteman. Could I invite Mr. Burke up to the stage for 13S2? Good? Okay, first up, 13S2. Please welcome Nicole right now. Yun Cho. Matthew Chu. Ores Chu. Shane Dyra. Anson Ho. Bronson Lamb. Cloris Lee. Forrest Lee. Jocelyn. Postmates. Elise Song. Tanaka. And that concludes the Stepping House graduates for 2023. Congratulations, everybody. And now for our final performance of the evening, please welcome to the stage Charlotte Park and Chiron Kwon.
I just want you coming from right now. I just want to hear you crying. 'Cause I know what you like, boy. You might come if you like, boy. 내 지난 날들은 흔들면 있는 cool. High boy 너무 원해.
Hello, everyone. Parents, teachers, friends, and of course, the class of 2023. It's an honor to speak here in our head student address.
We're excited to be standing in front of you wearing school colors. Thank you all for coming here today. It's peculiar standing in front of everyone here, saying our well dones, goodbyes, and see you laters, as I've always looked at the year 2023 as being very distant.
Yet somehow, after all of the happy times, the laughs, the tears, we've made it. We've gone through challenge after challenge, and we've made it out, hopefully wiser, more thoughtful, and more resilient. We're done. We're done. We're done. That's it. No more school. Right. So, I'm sorry, but if there's no more physics class, then when am I going to goof around with my friends?
Anytime. You do have friends, right?
Friends, yeah.
Well, anyways, class of 2023, we've gathered all of you and your friends.
So this is one of the last times that we're going to be together as a year group?
To celebrate all the hard work you've done.
No more free periods.
To celebrate all the hard
I'm sorry,
work.
they can't take that away from us. This is all dawning on me all at once. I think I might need a moment here. Can you give me a moment?
Shut up!
I'm just going to take a moment real quick.
Now that, folks, is a wonderful performance from Tom of what my average Monday night looked like in term 1. Tom actually asked me to play the unhinged one in the script, but I'm wearing heels, so whatever that is wouldn't work out for me. Don't worry, he does this a lot, he just needs a little bit of time. Anyway, over the past 2 years in senior school, and for some of us, 7 years at South Island, we sure have made it through a lot. And I think we made it through because we worked together. And we knew how to rely on our fellow head students so well. One moment, please, everyone. Tom, could you come?
Right, yes. Yes, working together. Where were we here? These last few years have been challenging. Students, teachers, parents, I think we all know exactly what I'm talking about. But these moments of academic stress, late nights, and deadlines were interspersed with some unforgettable, inspiring, and truly wonderful experiences.
It's interesting having responsibilities when you're at the age of not really being a kid and not really an adult yet either. Cutting out little paw prints for the house board, glue stick in hand, hunched over a desk so that Namas could win.
They didn't win though, did they?
To then having to write a 4,000-word long research paper as a distinguished academic has been the craziest whiplash in my life thus far.
Our high school life has been defined by outdoing the expectations set for us. Think about all of the in-person events that our incredible year group has brought back. The smash hit of Diwali night, innovation, the IB art exhibition, some decent school assemblies, if we do say so ourselves, bring home the football ISSF HK Cup, and getting to the basketball cup finals. And, of course, a fantastic deal on Boyfriends for Hire, set up by members of our very own year group. Thank you for your service, boys.
Even as we've been sapped by the IB, we've managed to fill our high school journey with such vivid memories that will last us a lifetime. The ability to cherish those moments, to know when to reject the uptightness and not take things so seriously all the time, to not always be talking about the political and economic state of the world right now. It's made our memories all the more genuine and real. In many ways, our year group is a bit like the couches in the Diploma Center. We're all a little squashed here and there, but we know how to provide each other with comfort when we need to.
And the memories that we've made here at South Island School will stay with us forever. Just like the sagging imprints of many a bottom that sat on those same Diploma Center couches.
If there's one message we'd like to share, it's that what we have done to get to this point has shaped us into becoming the most reliable, resilient, lovable, warm, and talented people I have ever met.
I guess what I realized when I was having that mental breakdown on stage earlier, I don't know if you remember that, but it's that although our high school memories are limited, they all play a role in building us into who we are and who we strive to be. And in order to move on, we have to accept that fact and continue to make new memories even as we split apart. Or like me, you can continue to be in denial that any of this is really happening and instead scream into a pillow.
With that message out of the way, we'd like to extend our thanks to so many people who have helped us along this journey. Mr. Lam, thank you for being such an asset to our year group as we navigated the IB experience. We can't wait to see which Mean Girls hair color you dye your hair next.
Ms. Purvis, you have been such a patient and understanding mentor to the both of us and the rest of the head prefect team. Thank you.
Speaking of which, shout out to the head prefect team. Boy, we've done so much over this year. We're so proud of you. We're so happy to have worked alongside you. Thanks for being the best freaking team ever. Thank you.
To Daryl Chan, I'm sure anyone who's been in any leadership role before can agree that your prompt replies to emails have been a godsend. Thank you so much.
Miss San Diego, Miss Choi, without your help, we wouldn't be decked out in our awesome grad merch on the last day of school.
And Miss Andrews, our principal, you've been so compassionate, kind, and eager in involving yourself all the time in the school community. Thank you so much for letting me have lunch in your office.
I'd like some more of those Reese's peanut butter cups, please. Thank you.
And finally, thank you sincerely to our tutors, our teachers, and our parents. Your help and support has been indispensable. Shout out to Mom and Dad. You guys are the best parents in the entire universe.
You too, Mom. I love you.
Here's to the class of 2023.
So thank you. That wonderful speech ends our ceremony. I appreciate we are a bit over time, but thank you for being here to celebrate with us for that. Because of the time, we are going to change up the plan slightly, and so we are still going to ask parents to go up to the space. Could I please ask the parents, if you're above the glass wall, to go up the top doors to the 4th floor, and then if you're in the bottom half, to come out and exit through this hallway in front of me. We're going to ask the graduates to stay to do a final group photo. Once they finish their final group photos, they're going to come and join you in the space. However, there won't be enough time for them to have the reception with you upstairs, and so once they join you and pick up their good luck messages and pick up their souvenirs, then we will have to end the evening there. So again, could I please ask parents now to leave either up the top doors or up this door to go to this space, and the graduates stay behind to do the group photo.